we're joined now by Honorable Ken Emeakayi, who is of the Emmanuel TV partners of Synagogue Church of All Nations. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Good morning.
Well, I mean, so many talking points about what actually transpired, but, well, ever since this happened, first of all, one likes to get from you what actually transpired on the day, because when it happened, reporters were barred from getting in there, and one wonders why were they trying to hide something. Give us your perspective.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers. First of all, on behalf of the Emmanuel TV partners, I would like to condole the families and friends of the precious souls who lost their lives during the incident. Coming straight to the question as to what happened. On that fateful day, as it is tradition with the man of God, Prophet T.B. Joshua, he's always at the prayer mountain of the church early every day. So that's very day he was at the prayer mountain. But he left the prayer mountain unceremoniously and unannounced.
In the same premises?
No, it's not in the same premises, but it's within the same vicinity. Now, after leaving the prayer mountain, this aircraft was sighted hovering around the prayer mountain at a very low range. An unknown aircraft hovering the prayer mountain. That was the time the man of God was supposed to still be at the prayer mountain, but he had left. When he was called, he now reported to the callers that he has left the prayer mountain because they thought he was still there. So he had gone back to the church. After hovering for like 1 hour, this same aircraft was again now sighted at the church premises. Hovering from 11:30, the first time it was sighted was 11:30 a.m. at a very low altitude over this particular building, this story building. And we have clips of this because the CCTV of the church got everything very clear, recorded it. So it came the first time by 11:30, almost at the, it was about 40 feet up from the building. After hovering that first one, it came back 5 minutes later, 9 minutes later. It continued like this for 4 times.
And you say it's the same aircraft?
The same aircraft, like I said.
Planes, aircraft usually fly over that area, don't they?
Yeah, the area, yes. But this one, like I said, it was hovering over this very building. And like I said, intervals of 5 minutes, 9 minutes, it wasn't up to 15 minutes. A particular aircraft, like I said, the CCTV got it very clearly. Because CCTV is all over the church premises.
So nobody noticed when the aircraft was hovering around the church building?
No, it was noticed. It was noticed. That was why it drew attention. Because even some visitors captured the aircraft on their pictures with their telephone. At
the time the building went down, did the aircraft just leave, or was the aircraft still there while they went down?
It was after the 4th time the aircraft left. After the 4th time, that was when the building went down flat. And after that 4th time, that particular aircraft never came back.
What was on this aircraft? I'm very interested.
That's the issue. That's what we want to know.
What was written on it?
No, we cannot from that point see what was written on it.
How do you know it's the same aircraft?
Like I said, when we watch through these clips now, you see the aircraft and you see it's the same aircraft. And from what the people that are watching, we've got some experts in that area that have looked at it, and they have actually told us this aircraft, the make and what it looks like. And the question, which is why we have written an open letter, we have written to the president of this country, we are asking for an inquiry into this incident. Because from the clips, from all the cameras, from all the CCTV cameras, it has become obvious that this building never collapsed on its own. That this is what we can call a controlled demolition.
So when the aircraft went round and the building came down,
yeah,
surrounding buildings, there was no crack?
No crack, everything was intact.
It was just this building.
Just this very one. That's why you say it's a controlled demolition. And we have been able to get clips from other controlled demolitions across the world to show similarity. Because what I mean by controlled demolition is this is a new technology whereby you can now isolate a building in an area, bring that building down without any other building beside it being affected.
But you know that can be said to be just, from a layman's perspective, just speculations or giving it away, because do you have engineers who are looking into the matter, who are conducting some sort of research or findings to come up to corroborate what you said scientifically?
Yes, on our own part, we are doing our own bits. But all we are saying is our interest is we are calling on the government. We are requesting for an inquiry. We are requesting for a holistic inquiry for the world to know what actually happened. Because when you look at the clips, like I said, we have them here, you will see that not just the aircraft hovering, but at the point of the incident, that they were explosives.
They were. Are you saying that explosives were dropped in the building?
It's possible they were either dropped or planted. Either that they were planted and the aircraft was hovering to detonate them. These are possibilities within the...
Don't you think it would be too obvious if an explosives were dropped in there and then an aircraft has to come and then detonate it? Can they detonate it from a distance so that nobody will know that that's what happened? Do you think they'll make it that obvious if that were the case?
Well, like I said, apart from the CCTV, apart from the security cameras, those involved in this may not have been aware of the presence of these security cameras. And in the absence of these security cameras, nobody would have known that any of such occurred. It would have just been looking, people would have looked at it from just this point where they're now talking of building collapse, structural defect.
But is it true that the Lagos State government had also, before the building went down, come to the place and told the church to stop further development because they were trying to modify the building from the initial plan?
Not true, and I understand to be corrected. And I want to also point out the fact that whosoever said that will not be saying the correct thing, because I also listened to a commissioner from Lagos State on your studio when he was saying that when they got there that they discovered that there was no approval of the place, meaning that he has not been there before and there was nothing of such before.
Does the church have an approval?
Sure, of course.
Have you showed it to Lagos State authorities?
Of course.
Have they invited any member of the church for?
They have been there severally. They have even come to look at the other buildings that were existing before now.
So what is the story we're hearing about the approval being buried under the rubble?
It's not true. Yeah. From where? From Lagos State government or from the church?
Yeah, that the church is saying that the approval
not at all. The church never told anybody any such thing. It's not true.
That is not true?
No, it's not true. First of all, the church has a well-coordinated office, and this building is on a different place. So there's no way the documents of the church or anything that has to do with that building will be in that place.
What does the approval cover? Because it's one thing to have an approval. We understand that the Lagos State government says they've been there before to seal that, to stop work on that particular building. That I think they might have approved the initial structure there, but not the additional ones that were being added to the building.
There's no additional anything to any building. We are talking of a building that is on its own. We have the pictures. This is a building of its own. But this is a complete new structure.
Was the building not under construction?
This building is under construction, but like I said, it's not as if it's an attachment to the church building. It's not an attachment to the church auditorium. It's a building that is standing on its own.
Yes.
In a different compound.
It's a guest house.
It's a guest house.
Yes.
So it's a building that has its own approval, its own plan, its own design.
What I'm asking is, the building was already occupied. We understand that 2 floors of that building already had guests living in them.
Yes.
But additional work was being done on the building.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
So they were saying that the initial two that were approved, or the initial structure, was the initial two that they could have approved if there is an approval, but not with the extra
The
floor
approval of this
being
particular
built on
structure
it.
now, this particular structure in question, the approval was for 12-story building. 12-story building. And they have come to examine even the foundations, the casting of it after this incident, and they have seen that it was done with the specification of the 12-story building.